We are live once again from the RV for Transformational Tea Time Tuesday. Why am I so sweaty? Let's talk about that. So yesterday, I put out there once again that I was needing a challenge, boom, for fitness. And so I said, guys, come on, give me something. And Georgia messaged in and said 100 burpees for time. I don't think I've ever done 100 burpees before. I'm not sure I've ever done 100 burpees in my life, let alone doing 100 burpees for time. But I loved the challenge, and I have to admit, I did not meet my own challenge. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm getting hearts. Y'all are okay that I showed up sweaty. Thank you. I was really going to take a shower and everything before this and do my hair, and I thought, you know what? My face is going to be beet red, and the shine is just going to be out of control. I'm just going to, can't beat it, join it. I'm just going to go for it. Okay, burpees. So 100 for time. I had set my own time of, I was like, I don't know, 10 minutes? Like, surely that's enough time, right? 100 burpees, 10 minutes? Let's look at the stopwatch. 10 minutes, 14 seconds. So we'll call it 10:15. Not bad, not bad, but I kind of think it's a little bit like the cracker challenge. Yes, Georgia, I just compared burpees for time to a cracker challenge. I think you gotta have, yeah, Josh, I did 100 burpees. I see you guys messaging in. Yes. I think it's you gotta have a strategy. So I just went for it. Like, I was like, I'm not going to step off my mat. Okay, so I've got like this yoga mat, because I was outside. It is 90 degrees outside. And I was doing the 100 burpee challenge for time. And I thought, okay, 10 minutes. That was going to be my goal. I didn't look at the stopwatch or anything like that. I just went for it. And 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Not bad, but I still think, Georgia, can we beat that? How about you guys? Is there anybody out there willing to try 100 burpees for time? Like, are you willing to go for it? I gotta have more people. Come on, guys. Don't make me do this alone. We've got to do this. Come on. We can do it. Now, I am still going to go do my laps today because it did only take me 10 minutes and 15 seconds. But I was so glad for the challenge. And Josh is going to call me for the next hay bale challenge, AKA go work with Josh for a while on the farm. So you will join in for that too. Oh yeah, we will live in for that. Fun times ahead. So Transformational Tea Time Tuesday is what we're calling today. 1 second, please. I left my tea over here. Tea time. What kind of tea are we drinking today for Tea Time Tuesday? I would like to recommend that you go grab a cup of tea, come back and enjoy this with us. Today we have Royal Wedding Tea. A dear friend of mine, Lindsay, gave this to me for my birthday last year in September, and I have literally been rationing it out to myself because I love it. This is just a white tea. It's absolutely delicious. It's loose leaf tea. So, I have to tell you all a funny story. Can we listen to a funny story? I had somebody message in yesterday and say, they sent me a picture of green tea, okay? Like a box of green tea with a green tea little tea bag. And then they said in the text message, so I just cut this open and pour it into my hot water, right? No, that is not a matcha. If that's how you're making matcha, please stop. I know that matcha is a green tea, But it is not just rip open a green tea bag and dump it in and drink it. Please don't do that. From now on, I will put more specific details in the comment section below so that you all know what to do. But no, please do not open a green tea bag and just like down it. That is not a matcha. Two totally different types of green tea powder is in a matcha than in a tea bag of green tea. Okay, now as we have Nicole saying here, oh dear, Nicole is saying you could just go and grab some grass and dirt and throw it in and steep it and then drink that. No, matcha is delicious. How many people, can I get a heart, a thumbs up, a heart, something, if you actually like green tea matcha? Is there anybody? Josh likes it. Matcha Missions Media Monday, Josh. He loves it. We're loving it on Mondays together. How about you? Do you like it? Anybody? I'm not seeing a lot of hearts. Okay, so maybe it's just me. That's okay. Saves more for me. So transformational tea time. Tuesday. Let's talk about migraines. Now, I know this is a topic that's not going to apply to everyone, but wait, before you turn it off, let me make a suggestion. Because right now, I am getting more comments and messages than ever about people who have migraines and how to eliminate those migraines and how to, Jen, you used to be a severe migraine sufferer. How is it that you function through it? I have an incredible testimony and I want to share that with you today. But maybe if you're not a migraine sufferer, maybe number one, you know somebody who is. So maybe listen to this so then you can help that person. You can share my testimony with them. Number two, you can share this video with them. That would be awesome. Click share, send it to somebody who you love. Number three is potentially you don't have a migraine, but maybe you have another kind of chronic pain in your body. I really believe that though I don't have any other chronic pains in my body, I really believe the principles that I'm going to tell you and the testimony that I'm going to share with you today could very potentially, I'm not going to give you a money back guarantee on this, but could very potentially help you as well. So let's dive into the story. So approximately, let's see, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, I was severely struggling with migraines. And I don't mean like I was having 1 or 2 or even 4 or 5 a month. Guys, I was literally having a migraine, a clinically diagnosed migraine daily. Now, I have a very high tolerance for pain. Very, very high. And I know not everybody has that. So I wasn't at a debilitating state, but it was painful. I was living in pain every day. Now, it wouldn't hit me at the same time every day. I wasn't waking up necessarily with it every day, but every day I was having a migraine for over a year. I had gone to the doctor. I had gone to specialists. I had gone to an allergist. I had gone and gotten an MRI. Nothing showed up except for you're a migraine sufferer. And I wasn't willing to accept that label. I wasn't willing to say, oh, okay, this is just the way I have to live. And at one point, my doctor looked at me and she said, Jen, I'm just going to give you a pill. You take it for every day for the rest of your life, and then you won't have any more pain. It will numb the pain. And I said, no. It's not what we're doing here. Pain is the body's way of saying, hello, something is off. Okay? Pain is actually something that we need to be grateful for. I know that's hard to say. And if you are a chronic pain sufferer, I know that's really tough. But pain is actually the body saying, hello, something is off. We need to fix something. It's true. So I asked my doctor, I said, no, I'm not going to take a pill every day for the rest of my life just to numb this pain. I need to listen to this pain. May I please be recommended to an integrative therapy location? So integrative therapy is basically a place that treats you holistically. Now, it's not anything weird, okay? It's just a holistic approach to health and healing. So I went to an integrative therapist. I got a massage therapist, a physical therapist, a dietitian, and then I'll tell you about the fourth one here in just a minute because that was separate. And for a year, an entire year, okay? Be willing to put in the work now to be pain-free later. It's so worth it. I worked with the integrative therapy team with a dietitian, a massage therapist, and a physical therapist a couple to 3 times a week. And then as it went on, it tapered off to just once a week to become migraine-free. Now, they had found a variety of different possible triggers, but the one main thing they found was inflammation caused by my diet. Now, you guys know me. I am all about the healthy eating, right? I eat the raw whole foods diet. Now, that doesn't mean I eat raw chicken. It means I eat single ingredient food items the majority of the time. But this really came from what I learned from the dietitian, the physical therapist, and the massage therapist. There were certain foods that I was eating that were causing inflammation in my body. And we had found a tear that I had had in my shoulder back from when I was in high school. That apparently when the inflammation happened, when my area back here would be inflamed, it would put pressure on the nerve and on the spine, which then came up and boom, would give me a migraine. So we worked with what was called a food elimination diet. Guys, this is hard. But if you want to be pain-free, I'm going to highly recommend you do this. And I had somebody call me yesterday, and Claire and I got to talk on the phone together about how she can start a whole foods elimination diet. And it might seem extreme, and again, I need to give the little message here. I am not a doctor. I am not medically certified in any way, shape, or form. The only thing I can do here for you is tell you the testimony of what worked for me. So if you're on medications, please seek your doctor's advice, okay? Pray through things. Prayer is a huge integrative part of this. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But please don't be like, oh, Jungle Jen's the expert and she said, no. I can only tell you what worked for me. We cut down my diet to literally for 10 days, 8 foods. 8. Can you imagine eating only 8 foods for 10 days? But it worked. So I ate these 8 foods and drank water like it was my full-time job. Literally, I drank half my body weight in ounces of water every day. Half my body weight in ounces of water every day for 10 days. And I ate these 8 foods. I'll put the foods in the comment section below. There were things like oatmeal, blueberries, sweet potatoes, rye crackers. I'll put them in the comments below. You don't need them right now. These 8 foods for 10 days, plus a massive amount of water, totally detoxed my system. It totally cleansed out every nook and cranny in my body of anything that could potentially be causing the inflammation. And then we started adding foods back in. Again, whole foods. So single ingredient food items, okay? We started adding one thing back in at a time, very slowly. And if I would have a migraine, then I would know what food was my reactor food. Now, here's the crazy thing. Foods that you might think wouldn't be reactors were actually some of my number 1 triggers. Are you ready for a couple of them? Tomatoes. Huge reactor food for me. Let me give you another one. Kale. Spinach. So even lettuces, certain types of lettuce. And you're thinking, wait, no, that can't happen. That's so healthy. No. We're not talking about health foods versus unhealthy foods. We're talking about reactor and trigger foods. Almonds, that was one of them. Strawberries. How many of you love strawberries? Now, just because they were my reactor foods doesn't mean they were your reactor foods, okay? So don't be going in, I mean, you can eliminate these things out of your diet. It might work. The Claire yesterday, the girl that I talked to, oh, she is so precious. We had a great time. She went to the store. She took the 8 foods that I told her that I had from the very beginning, and she bought those 8 foods, and her and I are sticking to this meal plan for her for the next 10 days. We're working together through this, and if you need somebody to help you through this, to hold you accountable, count me in, shoot me a message. I would love to help you become pain-free if at all possible. So something else that Claire mentioned to me is, and I told her, I said another huge reactor for me was peppermint. Now, interesting, because if you've ever done any of the essential oils, you know that one of the main things they tell you for migraines and headaches is peppermint oil. And yet that was one of the main things causing the migraines, causing these headaches that I was having. And all of a sudden, Claire said, oh my goodness, I have peppermint tea almost every night before I go to bed. Now, is that Claire's reactor? I don't know. I'm not sure. We don't know yet. We just started all of this. But boom, she immediately took out peppermint tea from her diet. And then she was at Whole Foods and she actually messaged me and she said, this is a crazy question, but do you use peppermint toothpaste? And I said, no. That was something I also immediately took out of my daily routine, was peppermint toothpaste, because it has peppermint in it and was still potentially a trigger for me. So again, you might think, well, wait, aren't all healthy foods fine for me? No, potentially not. Now, there is a book called The Plan. The Plan. I've done the plan. I've actually done it twice. If you really love to cook and have a ton of time, you can go with that food elimination diet process. It is very successful. It works. It worked for me. It's worked for tons of other people. But I'm going to tell you, you have got to have a ton of time, love to cook, and be very committed to that. What I found worked better for me after having gone through the plan, what I found worked better for me was what my dietitian said with the 8 foods, and then slowly and gradually adding foods individually back in. Now, if I would react to a food, let's say I would have a handful of almonds, and I realized, oh dear, the next day I had a migraine, nope, I can't have almonds, I would eliminate those. Then I would wait for 2 days, eating those other 8 foods, then I would start again and bring in another food, introduce another food. And now I've got about 30 foods, 30 different foods, individual raw whole food items that I eat on almost an everyday regular basis. Now, I don't eat all 30 foods in one day, but it gives me variety. I want to highly encourage this to you. If you have pain in your body, there is a reason for it. Your body is trying to tell you something. And I don't want you to come off all your medications all at once, but I want to encourage you to potentially think about looking into a holistic approach. And if you're like, oh, Jen, I've already tried that, it didn't work for me, try it again. Let's try it again. Let's try it together. Let's explore some different options together. Now, I told you there was a 4th component to my year of healing. Not only did I see a massage therapist, a physical therapist, a dietitian, I also went and saw a Restoring the Foundations counselor. Actually, it was a couple. These were people who were willing to go deep with me into some serious counseling. Now, I have not had an overly traumatic childhood or background. I am so blessed. I know some of you have, though. But even without a terribly traumatic or horrific upbringing, I didn't have any of that. But even without that, we still found that there were some stressors, there was some unforgiveness, there was some bitterness, there were some things from my past that I hadn't let go of that were actually causing the inflammation. Because what happens is oftentimes spiritually, we hold things in. And when we hold things in like bitterness, unforgiveness, stress of some kind, anger, certain sin, when we hold that in, it has to manifest itself somehow in some way. So often what happens, what I've found, is that it goes somewhere and then will manifest itself as a pain. Once I did the hard work, and it was hard. If you want some intensive, excellent counseling, and I did intensives. I didn't go like every day for a year or anything like that. It wasn't like that. I literally took a week. I went to these counselors and we worked hours every day to go through spiritual, I guess you want to call them compartments within me. We got real raw. We laid all the cards out on the table. We talked about everything, including generational curses, including things that are in the bloodline. You might think, well, my great-great-grandfather, he was an alcoholic, but I'm not. The Bible talks about how sin carries from generation to generation. Maybe you need to go in and you need to cut some of those generational curses or cut some of those bloodline sins that could potentially be having an influence on you and who you are today. Now, I know these shows, Jungle Gin live shows, are usually all about joy and all about fun and happiness, and I'm sorry to get kind of deep with you today, but in a way I'm really not, because I am seeing this migraine thing pop up over and over and over again. And I thought, wait, I have a testimony that I can share. I now live migraine free almost 100% of the time. Now, why do I say almost 100% of the time? Okay, after you have gone through the hard work, and it might take you just a few months. It might not take you an entire year like it took me. You might find your trigger foods a lot faster. You might be able to go through the counseling a lot quicker. Great if you can. I pray for exponential healing for you, that you can expedite yourself through this process. But once I went through the process, was living migraine free, I was then able to be a little bit more lenient with myself. So in other words, because I was living off of those 30 foods, I was feeling so good. I was healing. I was healed in so many ways, mind, body, spirit, soul. It wasn't just the migraines. I was healed in so many ways, which is what brought so much more joy to my life. Then what I was able to do is I was able to be a little bit more lenient. So when I'm at my niece's birthday party and there's cake, I have cake. Cake isn't something I eat on a regular basis. And it doesn't cause a migraine because my body's so clean and so healthy from the other ways that I do life normally, that when I have something every once in a while, I was at the pool the other day with some great friends and they ordered pizza. I had a piece of pizza, no problem. Nothing reacted the next day. But the next day I went right back on the regular routine that I have of eating the whole foods diet that I usually have. And it was fine. So don't think you're going to be bound to only these 8 foods. Don't even think, oh my goodness, I'm going to be only bound to a whole foods diet for the rest of my life. Probably not. Now there are some times where I will say, oh yeah, we're going out to eat with friends. We go out and we have this food. We eat at this restaurant. Boom, next day, migraine. Sometimes that happens. But then I just drink a ton of water. I flush my body out again. I go back to the whole foods diet that I am used to. And then usually within 24 hours, it's gone and I don't suffer anymore. So again, maybe you struggle with migraines, or maybe you have a different type of chronic pain in your body. Let me encourage you to maybe consider that food could be your culprit. This will be challenging self-disciplined opportunity for you to grow in, to try a food elimination diet. Again, I'll put the 8 foods there down below for you of what I had, what I started with, and maybe you will find some other foods that maybe are better for you to start with that you know are not reactor foods for you. But just try it. It might be worth it for you. And if you have a loved one that's suffering with chronic pain, maybe suggest it to them too. If there's anything I can do to help, shoot me a message. Like I said, I'm meeting with Claire over the phone. I can FaceTime with you. We can talk, we can text, whatever works best for you. I can help you with this. With the testimony that I have, I can't give medical advice, but with the testimony of what worked for me, I am more than willing to share it with you. If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. I'm here for you. I love you. I pray, honestly, that you will live pain-free. I know it makes such a difference in your quality of life, because it sure does for me. Blessings to you. Thank you for joining for Transformational Tea Time Tuesday. Hey, if you're up for the 100 burpee challenge for time, let me know that too. We're on. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.